Hello, in our previous video we went through what an array is, and now we're going to go over zero indexing. So when we have an array, such as my array here, we can see that there are a number of elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the way that JavaScript is able to access these elements is through the index. Each element is indexed, i.e. it has a number, a particular position that is marked within the array so we can find them. These indexes are zeroed. So what is zero indexing? It is the numbering of array elements with the first element being numbered 0. So as I said, we have 5 elements in this array. The first is hello world. However, this is not index 1. This is set as index 0. The second element isn't index 2. It is set as index 1, and so on and so forth. So we have first element, index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, and index 4. First element of any array is always index 0, so on and so forth. Now the final element of the array is the index of the array length minus 1. In this instance, the array length is 5. The final element, which is the Boolean value true, has an index of 4. 4 is 5 minus 1. The index of any element is the position of the element minus 1. So, for example, here we have an array of ordinal numbers, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. The length of this array is 5. We're going to create a new variable, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the length property of arrays in JavaScript to get the length. And we're just going to console log this. And see what happens. And there we go, we have 5. So this variable here, ordinal num array length, is equal to 5. Now, accessing elements rather, in an array. What we do, we type out the variable name, square brackets, and within the square brackets, we put an integer relating to the index position of the array. So as I said, first has index 0 because this array is 0 indexed. Type 0. Printing out the first element of the array first. I want to print out the second, 1. There we go. So on and so forth. Now, we know the length of this array because it's small. We can simply count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's pretty easy to find the index of the final element in the array. The fifth element in the array has index of 4. However, perhaps we don't know the length of this array, perhaps it's very long. A way to find the final element of the array, instead of just simply typing an integer, we'll type an operation. So, ordinal num array length minus 1. This is an operation. This operation will resolve within the square brackets and thus work as an index to find the particular position, a particular element at the position of the index of ordinal num array. And there we have it. So we can do calculations within the square brackets in order to find the index. We could, rather than declare this variable here, ordinal num array length, we could just do the calculation within the square brackets. This will result to 5, as we know, and then we'll have -1, it will be 4, thus finding the final element of the array. Again, we get 5th. Let's say we add an element to an array. So we have 6th. There are now 6 elements in the array. And we get the final one. Because the result of this, using the length property of arrays, will always return the length in the integer form of the array. So regardless of how many elements we add to this array, this will always result in accessing the final element of the array. What happens though if we did this? So right now the result of ordinal num array dot length will be 7. We get undefined. The array has 7 elements in it, but it being 0 index, the final element is at index position 6, not 7. So what we're asking here is not getting the 7th element, but getting the element at position 7. However, position 7 does not exist. So we don't get an error, but we get returned undefined. That's one thing to check if you're getting undefined, if your array isn't working, checking to see if you are actually accessing an element in the array rather than creating an index position that doesn't exist. And so, in the next video, we're going to be moving on to iteration, how to perform a particular operation on each element within the array, showing you the power of arrays and how we can get things done much, much faster. I'll see you in the next video.